Hey guys, this is Alex from 4C Trading, and before we get on with the video, I would like to apologize for missing a video and a live stream this week. But I had quite a situation with this COVID, it was like, firstly, I started thinking I was doing fine, but then later on it felt like somebody just turned down the oxygen level in my house and I just couldn't get enough oxygen, so I couldn't really speak. I still am kind of struggling with it, but the times are really interesting now, so I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and kind of do analysis on it, like what can we expect next from it, right? So right off the bat, I would like to start obviously on high time frames, stating that Bitcoin is, yes, still indeed very much bullish, right? We haven't lost this of the main area on a higher time frame, right? Obviously, we can't look anything from the left side due to the fact that there's nothing on the left side to begin with, right? But if you base this off from higher time frame perspective, or should I say structures, which is now in just this case it's like 2-3 candles. I'm sure if we go scooch down to a lower time frame, we will have more of a structure here, but basically on daily this is the only structure that can be seen going up here, right? So it's, you got this one and you got this one, right? There's nothing else in between so far. So now if you actually tag this structure on daily time frame and you go down to like a 4-hour, you will see structure a little bit more clearly, right? And this you can now see, and you can do the box a little bit more cleanly as well. And you can see that we haven't really lost this box to begin with, right? So we haven't lost the area, but we have retested it nicely. Now this was definitely a missed opportunity, right? This week we had some because I wasn't focusing on market as much as should have. But yes, missed opportunity. I'm not gonna say so much here because it was this, at the end of the day, it was a knife catch with a little bit of a fatter stop loss. Although seeing in it, definitely it was a pretty clean trade that you could possibly have taken. But I'm more sorry about trades that came afterwards, right? So what you've seen here, you had a clean low time frame, or should I say in this case we are on 4-hour medium time frame reversal that retested a perfect left side on the V play and made a reaction from it. So yes, this was definitely a good long to take, right? But today, like, I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about some of the positions that we can actually again take to hedge ourselves, right? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin did pull back for almost 25%, or it is actually 25 to 26%. And even though we haven't lost a main area just yet, it does give us a good opportunity to try and hedge our position, or even now not so much hedge, or maybe just to take a scalp at it, right? There's definitely opportunity to take a scalp, and the area for scalping in this case, I'm going to be using again a 4-hour. I'll be pulling up from 40k, from 40k up the top all the way down to 38k, a little bit 39, because I'm already a little bit late on it, because so when this video is going to be uploaded, it's going to be 39k. So yeah, that would be kind of the area that I would be looking for a current scalp. Now there are a couple of scenarios I'm seeing happening here, right? So the best case scenario for Bitcoin at the moment, because we are obviously still bullish, so this scalp is definitely less than 50%, has the less than 50% success rate. So we have a couple of scenarios. Obviously the best kind of scenario for Bitcoin right now is just moon through the previous created tops and just go through, right, and just continue its path over 250k potentially, right? Then secondary scenario that can happen, and that I see the one that I'm probably the most likely one to happen, is to test this, have a little bit of a rejection, go down to a next lower time frame area, and in this case still you can start seeing forming here, right here, reacting from this one and then going through the top, because you're still, as I said, on higher time frame, you're still bullish, right? And in sort of case, there is one worst case scenario for Bitcoin, going this to this area, falling over. You can again react from here, doesn't matter how much, but I'm just saying it won't go over the top, going all the way down to this one, which is going to be in this case our second profit take, right? And then deciding if this is going to hold this area again, and then possibly retesting to the top, where we would take the whole short thingy, or should I say the whole hedge thingy again, or possibly reacting from this, then falling down, or falling down straight down. That would be the kind of worst case scenario, as you can see on BTC right now. So, basically when we go into this scenario, or should I say when we're gonna be taking this hedge position on Bitcoin, we're gonna be expecting obviously scenario number 2 and scenario number 3, right? We're not gonna be expecting scenario number 1. And the thing is, most likely we would like to see scenario number 2 for a short, but we also have to remember that most of our money still comes from bull, right? We are still heavily invested into bull market, so seeing Bitcoin mooning through the 50k actually makes us more money than playing with the short to begin with, right? But again, since we're so heavy into bull market still, we should always protect ourselves, right? And yes, I know we have finally made a pullback. We have tested some of the lower levels, much needed levels on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has proceeded to create a more stable structure, a more structure that will benefit us in the future. Because looking back at 20 grand, when we did something like this, we had no structure on the left side at all, so we just end up falling through the ceiling right here and just moving down without many stops right in between. But here, when you start to create something like this is actually a structure that will provide you with liquidity on the way down, so it would kind of you would not kind of crash as fast as you did back then, right? And that's a good thing when it comes to. And yeah, to begin with, if you start off with this scalp, you gotta go on even lower time frames to really kind of see where the position is going to be taking place. So yes, we're going to be taking it down the middle. We always do three buys in these positions, and I'm not going to be putting it at the very top, but I'm going to be putting it a little bit above this sort of a sense right here. So I'm going to be putting it right here, a little bit above here, and you can see the stop loss is 4.5%. Now, first profit take, as we already said. And again, before I move on, all of the prices can be seen on the right side of my screen, right? So yeah, you're not missing anything there. So yes, the first profit take is going to be taken here. It's not going to be a super amazing profit take. That's why, it is about 1.6%. And if you notice that this scalp, it is less than 50% chance, right? So 1.6 R doesn't really intrigue us a lot, because you are very tight on the value area right there, right? You're very tight on the profit area. So even if you choose to skip this trade, you're not gonna lose a lot of money, right? You're not missing a lot out. But if you're heavily invested into altcoins, if you're heavily invested into Ethereum or Bitcoin, you definitely should be thinking about taking something like this, just to protect your position. So the first trade, so the first profit take is going to be around 36k, right, at 1.6R, or 7.4% on the movement. So it still is, mathematically speaking, it still is profitable trade. You're just very much on edge with those odds, right? And the secondary profit take, much more interesting, right? It is 16%, 3.5R, or 33k. So now it definitely becomes a little bit more interesting. Now, when we talk about this secondary profit take or secondary position stake, right, we also need to see what the price action wise is going to happen here, right? Because as I've already did those 3 scenarios, the scenario 3 has different scenarios to begin with, right? So when scenario 3 is gonna moves down here, it can stop here, it can stop here, it can stop here, before reversal. And all of these stops have different kind of shorts, right? Because if you start stopping below this line, we're probably gonna be taking another short here as a hedge position. And again, this short is again going to be a lower probability case, because we haven't technically lost this area just yet. If we stop under this line, right, depends on how fast we move back into area again after this third circle. But you will have another opportunity here, which is going to be less than 50% chance of winning. But just judging by this price action right now, it's going to have a smaller stop loss as well. So although we're going to be aiming this as our first profit take, it's most likely going to be above 2R, which is going to make our scalp a lot more better, or should I say a lot more profitable to begin with, to our scalp to first here. And this is how you basically build your position over time before the major drop happens, right? Because the longer you linger into this area, the more chances you have of returning, or should I say turning the trend around and going downwards, right? So yes, for you it's a really smart thing to build a position like that if you're given multiple chances, and especially if you're still playing alts, because at the end of the day, if it goes up, you're gonna make more money on alts and everything else. But if it goes down, at least you're not gonna be losing as much as everybody else, or sometimes if you hedge properly, you probably won't lose anything at all. So yeah, that's really the beauty when it comes to it. You always have to be thinking two sides, right? Never be too bullish, never be too bearish. Just always think on two sides, how you can make money both sides wise, protect yourself and make the maximum outcome out of it, right? Because it's not how much money you make, but it's really at the end of the day how much money you preserve. And the better you preserve your money, the more money you're gonna make over time, and you're gonna just grow richer, and you won't have that lack of sleep like everybody else, fearing that Bitcoin is gonna drop 10k in the middle of the night and you're gonna lose a bunch of money essentially, right? So yes guys, thank you for watching yet another video from us. Do please subscribe, like the video, share the video. Also join us at Free 4C community channel where we discuss stuff like this, stop losses, Bitcoin analysis on daily, and so on. Thank you for watching guys, and see you in the next one.